What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video. I'll be reacting to three true quarantine horror stories. I don't think I reacted to this yet. I hope I haven't. If I have, I'll recognize them when I start watching. Yeah, it was still on my computer, so I mean, we still doing the quarantine thing, especially now. So people are fucking up, and we're going back in quarantine. Especially the southern states. Of course, they won't fuck up. I'm not surprised. I lived down south for almost 7 years. I knew they won't fuck up. But yeah. So doing this, I feel like it was relevant. Plus, it's been on my computer a long time, so like, might as well go ahead and react to it. So, anywho, let's go ahead and watch this. There's the cursor right here.
I didn't feel comfortable talking with the
Oh
person
yeah, this
so
is from
close,
Nightmare Files.
so I didn't tell the operator what was happening.
I'll put a link in the description.
Then the person entered my dad's bedroom.
For the channel.
They flipped the light on.
Someone told me in my comment that he had deployed. I wonder did he did he deploy before this whole thing? Because I feel like they would have canceled that. Because apparently right now they've had an outbreak in Afghanistan of COVID-19. So from a military base, that sucks.
Recently, we all know what has been going on around the world, the coronavirus. Well, this story took place on April 3rd, 2020. I live in Akron, Ohio with my mother. My mother is a nurse and she works in the Cleveland Clinic Hospital at night 5 days a week. On this day, my mother went to work at 8 p.m., so I was there by myself. I'm 17, so I'm more than capable to stay at home. I decided to make myself some dinner right after my mother left because she told me to fend for myself.
In some cultures you are.
By 9 o'clock, I was getting ready to sit down to eat when I heard a knock at the door.
Don't answer.
I looked at my phone and double-checked the time, and sure enough, it was 9:04 p.m.
Especially
I thought
that
it was
late.
weird being that it was so late.
Yeah.
I looked through the peephole, and it was some random guy I'd never seen before. I asked him what he wanted, and he asked me if Gigi was home.
I wouldn't even done that.
I told him that no, Gigi lives here. He then said, oh, and then asked me if I was sure. I said I'm positive.
Bitch, I said
He took out a picture, put it up to the peephole, and told me that it was Gigi in the picture. At this point, I should have told him again that she's not here, but I didn't. I told him that I can't see it through the peephole, and he proceeded to tell me that I should open the door
so
that
he
can show me the picture. I told him that I don't know about that due to the quarantine. He kept asking me, so I said,
I don't know about that.
I grabbed my mask and opened the door, but I kept my chain on. But as I was opening the door, I swear this guy slightly pushed it. Then he looked surprised when it didn't open. I asked him what he was doing, and he said, my bad, I tripped. I said, no, you didn't. You weren't even moving, and I slammed the door. I looked back through the peephole, and he took off running. I kept looking outside for about 20 minutes just in case he tried to come back. So now an hour went by, and as soon as I stopped thinking about that creepy guy, there was another knock at the door. Again, I looked at the time, and it said 10:32 p.m.
Oh,
I looked through the peephole, and there was a young woman with a white dress with dark hair over her face just standing there. I can barely see her face due to her hair, but it looked like she had dried up tears. I asked, what do you want? She said,
we are.
Then she stopped mid-sentence and looked behind her, then corrected herself in a very monotone voice.
I'm from a group that's testing people in your area for the coronavirus. Can you let me in to test you? It's very important to get tested.
I don't think she noticed the peephole on my door. She looked behind her again and whispered to someone, but I couldn't see who it was. Then I saw the same guy from earlier walk from behind her and headed to my backyard. I ran to my back door to make sure it was locked. Looked outside, but I didn't see him. I ran back to the front door and looked back through the peephole, and the girl was just standing there staring at the door, not moving, not even blinking. Then I heard someone messing with my back door.
Of course. They really want to get in this
It
house.
was the guy from earlier along with another guy. I screamed that I'm calling the cops. Then I heard them run away. Then I could see them out my side window running. I looked back in the front and I saw them dragging the woman away. It looked like she didn't want to go with them. The police came over and insisted that it was a prank. Since then, I purchased a gun from a guy that lives around the corner from me. And I'm ready for anything now.
For around the corner, so you purchased an illegal weapon? And that's not the... Well, I guess if you don't open carry or can even conceal carry, I guess you're alright. But you got an unregistered weapon.
I'm 15 years old and I prefer my full name was not revealed. But my name is Luke. This happened to me about 2 weeks ago while I was quarantined because of the coronavirus. There has been no school. I've been able to stay home a lot more. On a Friday night, my parents went to go visit my older brother, who is 25, in the city to check on him, while I stayed at home because I wasn't feeling well. At around 10 o'clock, my mom texted me that they would be staying the night at my brother's house and would be back in the morning. I started to feel better and stayed up late a couple more hours playing video games. Then I heard my backyard gate open. My window was right by the backyard, but I thought it could have been my dad. But then I heard a voice I didn't recognize by my window. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I immediately got scared. I started searching for my phone, but I couldn't find it. And since we didn't have a house phone, my iPhone was the only way to contact my parents. I started hearing pounding on my back door, which gave me goosebumps. I turned off my computer and crawled under my bed. I heard 3 more pounds on the door until it finally burst open. And I heard the intruders enter my house. I knew I had to arm myself in case they found me. So I grabbed a screwdriver.
Sounded like they were knocking to see if anybody was there since you didn't
As I did
answer,
this,
they kicked the door.
I heard the voices of 3 men speaking Spanish. As I went to crawl back under my bed, I knocked down on my book on my dresser, and it made a loud thud. Then I heard more Spanish and someone walking. They were walking towards my bedroom. I hid under my bed. As I saw someone enter my room, I was afraid. I covered my mouth as I watched the figures search around my room for about 30 seconds until giving up and leaving. Put my ear down to the floor, and I heard rustling going on in the basement and loud yells in Spanish as if 2 men were arguing. I then finally found my phone on the floor under my sweatshirt and informed the police of my situation and whispered as much as I could. I asked the operator if I should run, but the lady told me to stay hidden.
Yeah, but they haven't found
In like 5 minutes, I heard the police sirens move toward my house, and the 3 Spanish men began scurrying up the stairs. I heard all of them exit the back door and towards the back gate. After hearing that, I hung up and got from under the bed and went towards the living room. As I heard an officer knocking on the door, calling out police, I ran towards the door until from behind I was tackled by someone.
Oh shit!
I let out a scream as someone's hand covered my mouth and began choking me with their arm. The officer kicked down the front door and aimed his gun at me and yelled at the man choking me to let me go. The man let me go, and I almost threw up. Another officer entered and escorted me outside, where I explained everything. The officer from earlier brought in the guy who choked me, who was bald, had a black goatee, and tattoos all over his neck. He cursed me out and told me that if the cops didn't show up, he would have killed me. I finally called my parents, who came home in less than an hour, where the officer explained to my dad that they entered the backyard because the back gate was not locked, and they bust through my door because I didn't use the chain lock. As the police checked out the house, they saw that the kitchen and basement pantry had been raided, along with some valuables, like some of my mom's jewelry. Unfortunately, the 2 other men still have not been caught, and I haven't heard anything since. I spoke with my dad afterwards, and he believed that they were stealing food because of the virus. But the part that puzzled me is why they would rob houses if people were at home. My dad has become a lot more paranoid since that situation, locking every door, and is set to installing security alarms and cameras. And I'm very glad that he did that, because I'm afraid that the one guy who was arrested will come back and fulfill his wish to kill me.
I like that he told him, I would have killed you at the police station. Yeah, it's not gonna help your case, bro. Say that in front of the police.
This happened to me May 30th, 2020. It's me, Luke again. My parents were a couple of blocks away from where I live because they were staying at my aunt's house. My aunt is paranoid schizophrenic, so she has special needs and such. Anyways, it was around 4 a.m. I was a night owl, so I stayed up late playing The Last of Us and drinking soda. I suddenly had the urge to go to the bathroom, so I paused the game and walked into the bathroom and did my business. While I was washing my hands, I heard someone cough from outside of my house, near the gate that leads into my backyard. Since not even a few moments
These
ago, my home was
motherfuckers going in
invaded,
their backyard.
I freaked the hell out, and I ran into my dad's bedroom and pulled out the case where he kept his handgun. Since of what happened before, my dad became paranoid and bought a .44 Magnum, just in case we had to use it. I wasn't supposed to know about it, but my brother told me since my dad told him. I grabbed the gun and then I hid under
Why
my
wouldn't
dad's
your
bed
dad tell you
as
about
I heard the
gun?
back screen door open.
If anything, he's been
Some
training you
noise
with the
at
gun
the
because
back
it's in the
door.
house.
It sounded like he was messing with the back doorknob. I hoped he would fail to get inside and leave, but it seems like nothing can go right for me this year. By the way, I live in Minneapolis. The person somehow got the door open and had entered the house. The back door leads into the basement, as I heard the person go downstairs. I then remembered my phone in my pocket. I dialed 911. As soon as the operator picked up, I heard the person walk upstairs and walk into the kitchen and began opening and closing all the drawers and cabinets. I didn't feel comfortable talking with the person so close, so I didn't tell the operator what was happening. Then the person entered my dad's bedroom. They flipped the light open and began digging around through some of my dad's files. I identified the person as this big fat man wearing a stained white robe. Then I got an alert on my phone. It was a text from my friend, who I was playing video games with, asking me what I was doing. I cringed and I clenched my teeth in fear. I asked myself if I was willing to shoot someone. However, I then realized I had my phone on silent, so it was only a vibration. The man heard something though.
Yeah, even then,
He
you
began
still
moving
here.
the blankets on my dad's bed. I gripped the revolver handle tight as I then saw the man leave the room and move into another part of my house. I got on the phone with the police and explained the situation to the operator and alerted her of suspicions that a KKK member was in my house because there were rumors that the KKK were in our county. The 911 operator suggested that I remain hidden. I then heard the man walk back into the kitchen and then I heard a loud thud. All of a sudden, the police sirens were heard near my house. I heard the man panicking. The man frantically ran back out my back door. I looked through my dad's window and watched the man in white run and hide in my garage. I went out the front yard and met up with 2 female police officers and explained everything, including how the man was in my garage. I stayed with one of the officers while the other one went to search my garage. She came back 5 minutes later saying it was clear and that a window in my garage was open. I called my parents who came back home. The cops left shortly after we filed a report. My dad became paranoid and searched the garage, where he found a piece of white cloth underneath his car. I don't know if it was really the KKK, but that was another terrifying experience of my life while in quarantine. My dad has ordered security cameras to prevent any break-in from happening.
He said, I don't know if it's KKK, but he said it was
Be safe out there.
Because he heard that he is breaking into people's houses in his area. I never dealt with KKK members as far as I know. I've dealt with neo-Nazis, but I don't think I've dealt. But I would. I mean, they weren't in, the KKK attire, so I wouldn't know unless they didn't say they was KKK. But Nightmare Files. Nightmare Files. But yeah, that's that's always scary. Like anytime I hear something, you know, in my house, I hear like it sounds like the alarm is went off, or I think I hear something like someone's trying to pick a lock or something like that. I'm always like, what was that? You know, sometimes all the time it's a house noise. No one's ever broken in here, but still, I'm like very cautious about that because I'd rather be, you know, have a heads up than to be like, oh, it's nothing. I go in my room, I'm just sitting here, or I go to sleep and somebody fucking walks in here. You know, I remember when I was in Oklahoma, I used to lock my bedroom door when I was inside because I was like, you know what? If they steal everything in my living room and the only thing out there had a TV, I guess they could take the cable box, but that wasn't mine, so fuck. And some of the movies I had out there, but they couldn't. There was nothing else. I guess they could take my blender that I had at the time, but I had my own TV in my room. I had my PlayStation. I had my games in my room. I had some games outside, but they were usually games I didn't really care that much about. Either they were gifts or just kind of like games I bought because they were on sale. But yeah, I was like, just in case somebody tries to rob me. I lock my door, they can't get in my room. But if they break in, it's gonna wake me up. And I kept my sword by my bed and my throwing knives by my bed. Had my shurikens by my bed, like right next to me. I didn't have a retractable baton then. I have one now. And I don't have a firearm, but I have weapons and I know how to use it. I know how to throw a knife. So especially those are throwing knives specifically made for throwing. Like I said, I had ninja stars and I had a switchblade by my bed, and I had my sword, and what else I had something else. I don't have it anymore. Not the retractable time, like I said, I bought that after I left Oklahoma, but I had brass knuckles. It was something else I had. I think it was like a steel bow staff, I think, but I don't remember. But I had plenty of weapons with me, just in case somebody did decide to, or even though the lock on my door didn't have it where you could pick it, because you couldn't lock it you couldn't lock the door from the inside and then close the door from the outside. If you locked it from the inside, it was because the way the lock was, it was weird. It was like, because I remember I said, yo, you can't lock this from the inside and then try to close it from the outside and lock it. I don't think, maybe it could, I don't know, but I remember I do that now. I still lock my door. Like sometimes, like just in case somebody breaks in and they somehow I don't hear the alarm go off, or they disable the alarm or something. I'm like, all right, if I don't hear them, they can't get in my room. If they do get in my room, they have to kick the door in, and that would immediately make me, wake up, jump up, and it's they gotta come through the door, and that would be a big mistake. I'm just saying. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.